Hey, what's up YouTube? What's up community? Welcome to another Pedro How to Do It. Today I bring you an After Effects tutorial. How we animate a paint stroke with some really nice details. You don't need to be an experienced After Effects user to pull this one out. If you like this channel, if you like my tutorials, hit that subscribe button. Now let's go inside After Effects and see how we do our paint stroke.
And enjoy.
We are now inside After Effects and this is our example. This is in what we're going to be working on. We have this paintbrush and is being animated like a real paint stroke. And as you can see, we have some detail on the edge of the stroke. This is not like being revealed with a mask or with a wipe with softened edges. You could actually come around with that if you animate real quick, but I'm going to show you how to get some detail when animating this. For the most experienced After Effects users, you will probably notice that I have some shy layers here, some hidden layers. And that is because this is a client's project and I cannot show you the whole design. So I just hide the layers that we will not be using. During the production of this project, one of my colleagues asked me, "Hey Pedro, how did you get the detail on the edge of the brush stroke? Are you using mattes? Did you apply some turbulence displays?" But that's the point, that we can achieve certain things without making After Effects complicated. And that's why I decided to do this tutorial for you guys. This stroke that I'm using, we can get him for free on the internet. So we go to Google and we just write paint stroke PNG free and you will have some options. I found this website, dlf.pt. It's a free PNG, so you can download it and use it and do the tutorial along with me. Once you have your stroke, import it into After Effects and drop it into your composition. As you can see, the original stroke is red, but is the same stroke that I'm using here for this example. The only difference is that I stretched it out to fit the text and the design that I was working on. Now that I see those strokes side by side in red and yellow, it looks like the Spanish flag and looks cool. First step is if you want to change the color of this stroke. One easy way that you can change the color of something is using a tint. I'm using a script or a plugin, as you like to call it, from Video Copilot. This is Console from Video Copilot. It's a free script, a free plugin for After Effects. Because I'm assuming you don't have this plugin or script installed, I'm going to use the traditional effects window from After Effects. So on your effects window, you can search for tint, and once you find the plugin, just drag and drop and apply it to your stroke. I really like to use it, but you are free to use anything else you want. You could use, like, for example, hue and saturation to change the colors, rotating the hue. But if you have a black and white picture, this will not work as good as applying a tint. And as you notice, when we choose a yellow color on our tint effect, the yellow is not translating 100%, and this is because of the contrast of the picture that you have. One way to come around this problem is applying a levels effect or a curves effect. I'm going to apply a levels effect because we have this histogram, and with this we can see our black and white levels. But you can use any other effect, for example curves, lumetri effect, any other effect that allows you to change the contrast of the picture. Now that I'm pushing my blacks closer to the black point, you see that the color is translating a little bit better. So the yellow is more vivid, representing better the yellow that we are choosing. Now that we are happy with our color, let's start animating our stroke. The easiest way to animate is to apply a linear wipe. This is also a tool that you can find on the effects palette, and we drop the linear wipe effect onto our stroke. So when we animate here this transition completion percentage, you see that we have a hard line and the direction is wrong. So the wipe angle is plus 90, we just need to put in minus 90, and this will change the direction of our wipe. So now it's animating from left to right as it should. The next step is to set keyframes on our animation. To set keyframes, you have this stopwatch. When you click on it, you set your first keyframe. To see the keyframe we just set, we need to come down to our comp and look in our layer the keyframes. We can press the letter U, that will reveal all keyframes that we've set, but if you forget this shortcut, letter U, you can come here, open this little triangle, and you will see the keyframe showing up. Will allow you to grab and move into position where you want to start the animation. The next step is to set the second keyframe. You move forward in time. You can use these parameters down here or up in your effects control window, and you move it to 0. We now have our second keyframe, which if we play back, you will see the movement of the revealing stroke. But it's not beautiful. We have the hard line as we've seen before. Nothing changed yet. We could use some feathering here on our linear wipe because we have this feather parameter, but still feather, a real stroke wouldn't be like this. So to get that nice paint detail as we've seen in the example, we need another effect, and this effect is roughen edges. We apply the effect to our stroke, and if you notice, we are already having some effect on the edges of our strokes. So if we turn it on and off, you see that the effect is doing something, but it's not only doing on the edge of our wipe, is doing all around it. And if someone delivers this stroke to you, probably they will want to keep the design, or they want you to keep the design that they delivered and not applying roughen edges to the whole thing. We want the roughen edges to just react to our wipe. So here the border, as you see when I crank up the border, is affecting the whole thing. So we put border to 0. You see when we turn the effect on and off, the stroke keeps its original form. It's not being affected by the roughen edges at all. And we can come here and mess around with all the other parameters, edge sharpness, fractal influence, scale, and the changes will be minimal. But once we get to the feathering of our linear wipe, and this is where the trick is, you see that the border will start being affected because this creates this gradient, and the roughen edges will work on this. So the more we increase our feathering, the more our fractal influence will react. So now it's a question of playing here with the parameters and try to find the values that actually fits. So if we reduce the scale too much, this will look like paint spray. And if we increase, you will start seeing that the damaging, it will start fit our design. So if we put too much, will look like liquid. Yeah, this could be awesome if we want to animate some liquid, but this is ink. So we need to find the scale and the values, the settings that work with our stroke. So this looks good. I'm just putting the edge sharpness to almost the maximum. So it's just playing a little bit around. But first thing, border to 0, and then playing with the feather from the wipe. So we are on our way. We already have some detail when animating this, which is looking already better than just a straight line or a feathered wipe. And as you can see, once we turn the roughen edges on and off, the outside of our stroke is not being affected. So we are keeping the original design of the stroke, which is also an important thing. So if we turn the rest of our layers, we just bring the stroke down, we start having our design a little bit in place. And so when I play this back, you have our animated stroke. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's not difficult. You can easily pull this one out and make your motion graphics up a notch. If you like this channel, hit that subscribe button, follow me, and get notified for the next upcoming tutorials. And see you on the next one.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy.